A sense of community, this is the big one, is extremely valued above the comfort and desire of the individual. All for one and one for all. That's what it's about. It's all about setting up this little community and this little cult. And it's trying to set up safe spaces and inclusivity. And this is what it is. This is literally what it is. Hello fellow humans, I told you in the last video that I was going to make a quick video on how the left and all of this trans ideology is getting a little bit culty. They're not full-blown cult, but they're a little bit culty. So I've got a list here of just things. So cults, in short, are groups of people who are fully committed to a leader and a set of ideas, right? So they haven't got a leader as per, but their ideas are incredibly strong. So a single authoritative person or small group of people create rules to follow. That's basically what's happening. When they're not followed, there's a punishment. In cults, there's a pyramid scheme. Certain rules or ideas are withheld. So it's all from the top down, this stuff comes. Because when a lot of people are questioned on the streets about this ideology, they don't have the answers. So they're just parroting what they've heard from above. That's why I think it's a bit, because the information is disseminated down, you see. Your group is isolated or encouraged to stay and keep secrets within the group. That's what all these little community meetings and stuff in the schools are for. That's why I think that's a bit culty. Critical thinking and questioning are met with resistance, deferment and or punishment. So you're not allowed to critically think. So when they say like a woman is anybody who can be a woman, they just agree. Like anybody who feels like a woman is a woman, they just agree with that. They don't use any critical thinking. They don't say, well, hang on, how does that work? You're not allowed to question it. You just have to follow the dogmatic truth of the cult. That's like one of the major red flags for me. The critical thinking has just been disbanded completely. You're not allowed to think critically anymore at all. The totalistic as well. It's like everything, like once you are transgender, that's it. That's like your entire identity now. It's the totality of your life is that. And everything that you do is a knock-on effect of that. You can't just be a man, you have to be a trans man, and everything as a result, it has to trickle down from that. Like the difference between gay and queer. A gay person is a person who happens to be gay. It's just a guy or a woman who goes to work, comes home and lives a normal life, and you wouldn't know they were gay. That's what a gay person is. But a queer person, that means their entire life is based around being queer. Like that's the difference between queer and gay. Like queer, your entire identity is that. Everything you do has to be gay and has to be queer, and everybody needs to know, and you have to be super flamboyant. That's not the same as being gay. They are two different things. Two totally different things. Hostility, sanction or aggression when leaving the group is brought up. Like detransitioners have got a hell of a hard time being able to speak up at the moment because they're leaving this cult of transition and now they've left and they're saying, oh well, I miss my penis or I miss my breasts and I'm never going to be the same and I'm always on these tablets, and they're exposing the horrors that they're experiencing, and the cult is saying no, that's all lies, they're trying to do it to discredit the cult. Like, how is that? Like, they've got their experiences just as much as you've got experiences, and your entire cult is about how you feel and your feelings. So why doesn't anybody else's feelings matter? This is why it's getting weird. It's like divided off. Very, very weird. And then this one's like a bit of a push. Formal ceremonies and rituals take place to indoctrinate and reaffirm beliefs in the community. Like, that doesn't really happen. They don't have like a church where you can go and you can worship the transgender gods and stuff, but they do indoctrinate and do ceremonies and stuff and let people feel accepted on TikTok, and they create a community on TikTok, and then all of these children that feel isolated and or lonely can feel a sense of community. All they have to do is get a double mastectomy. It's, yeah. And then love bombing, that's a manipulation tactic. So it refers to where you're really nice to them. You paint everything with rose colours and you draw them in with kindness and acceptance and stuff. So you say, oh, it's safe over here. Come over here. We'll accept you. We'll look after you. We will love you. And they shower you in love. That's why it's called love bombing. And then once they've gained your trust, they start to manipulate and abuse you because you don't want to lose the love that they've given you. And that's what happens. So like, it's easy to get into the trans cult, but it's incredibly hard to get out. That's one of the reasons that I think it's culty, because it should be just as easy to get out as it should be to get in. Once you're in, you can't get out. Whoa, that's a bit, it's almost like it's like entrapment, isn't it? And then your food, work and social activity are monitored and controlled. It's only your social activity that's monitored and controlled. Like, you're not allowed to talk to people who've got all these opinions and stuff. So like, if you walked up to somebody who was trans in the street, they might actually like Ben Shapiro, but they can't publicly say they like Ben Shapiro because he's a transphobe and a bigot. Do you see? So they're monitored and controlled, and they have to think and speak based on what the cult dictates, not what they think or feel. Yeah. And then a sense of community, this is the big one, is extremely valued above the comfort and desire of the individual. All for one and one for all. That's what it's about. It's all about setting up this little community and this little cult. And it's trying to set up safe spaces and inclusivity. And this is what it is. This is literally what it is. And then important decisions are influenced or made by the people in charge. Again, what I said earlier about people in the street that are asked these things. Oh, well, I don't know. It depends on who says what and who says the other. And then if you look at Matt Walsh's documentary, What is a Woman? These are the people that are up at the very top, the surgeons and the psychologists and stuff. They're the ones making all these crazy tinfoil hat decisions that have never been tried before. We've been fine for thousands and thousands of years. And now they're going to smash the system to pieces and make a new one because they think it'll work. Nobody agrees with them. We've got no proof, no way to test it. And they're just pushing it forward. It's culty as fuck. Culty. Not a cult, just culty. Do you know what I mean? Well, thanks for watching this. I'll leave the link to this article in the description so you can read through it yourself. Peace.